And what seems to be on a glacial pace are convictions over anomalous flood control projects. The Justice Department is hoping to get some help from the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee to speed things along prosecution front.
And at least 4 are dead as Tropical Depression Bashang continues its onslaught in the Visayas and Mindanao. Its latest track later on in the program.
Saan ka ba makakita? Second highest official nagbabanta. The proof there is her own words.
Parang sa game of chess, ang pinupuntirya dito yung Reyna, no, yung BP.
The House of Representatives has the ball rolling again on the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. The first 2 complaints against her have been transmitted to the Office of the Speaker. Where these go next is a question as one lawmaker dangles the possibility of ouster on express mode. Mobile journalist Marymon Reyes with tonight's big story.
House Secretary General Cheloy Garafil has confirmed that the 2 impeachment complaints filed early this week against Vice President Sara Duterte have been transmitted to the Office of Speaker Bogie D. On Monday, February 9, these should already be included in the plenary's order of business. But according to House Justice Committee member and Public Accounts Committee Chair Terry Ridon, the process could be fast-tracked. This means it is possible that a third of the House or 105 lawmakers can choose to endorse the case, transmit it to the Senate, and forego submission to the Justice Committee, just like what they did last year. But there's a Supreme Court ruling and guidelines laid down by the High Tribunal against any impeachment on an express route or fast-track mode. At this point, what House Justice Chairperson Jervil Ruistro hopes to see is guidance from the lower chamber's Committee on Rules on how to go about any impeachment proceeding with the SC's decision in mind.
I am certain that the Committee on Rules will find ways to reconcile both the decision and the resolution of the Supreme Court on one hand and the independence of the House of Representatives with respect to the exclusivity of its authority to initiate all impeachment cases so that the entire institution will be guided. Ang dami kasing medyo gray areas doon, no? Sapagkat hindi nga consistent yung decision ng Supreme Court with respect to the existing rules of the House of Representatives.
For her part, House Deputy Minority Leader and ML Party List Laila de Lima is confident the impeachment complaints they endorse against VP Duterte will hurdle the Justice Committee.
Saan ka ba makakita ang bansa na meron ganyan occupying the second highest official position in government ay nagbabanta openly, kitang-kita, dun mismo sa bibig niya. The proof there is her own words. This is actually high crime and betrayal of public trust.
Whatever road the impeachment proceedings will take, De Lima believes evidence against the Vice President are solid enough and could finally merit her ouster.
Even we don't agree na kailangan nilang tingnan na kaagad at make a cursory perusal of the supporting evidence. Kasi nga, lagi ko pong inuulit noon during the hearings ng dalawang complaint against PBBM, ang kailangan lang allegational sufficiency. Hindi pa yung tungkol sa admissible ba yung mga ebidensya.
On Monday, February 9, a third group is expected to file another complaint against the Vice President. It is not clear if the third complaint will be consolidated with the first 2 already in the Speaker's office or will be separately tackled as to sufficiency in form and substance. Just like what the House Committee did this week with the impeachment complaints against President Bongbong Marcos. As early as now, the Senate says it is ready to take its role as an impeachment court.
Naghahanda ka at hindi natuloy, ay well and good, okay lang. But still, nakahanda kayo because it's part of the job of the Senate.
Recall that Senator Robin Padilla said he wants to see a pro-Duterte Senate President if the Vice President's case reaches the upper chamber.
Hindi naman siguro kailasan man sa inyo. Ayaw ko ng impeachment. Hindi ba obvious? Siyempre, kailangan.
From the minority.
Sana, inshallah, God willing.
Yung
Pro-bayan.
A political scientist believes the Duterte bloc in Congress will do everything in their power to protect VP Sara.
Ultimately, parang sa game of chess, ang pinupuntirya dito yung Reyna, no, yung VP, no, yung ang pinupuntirya dito sa game nito, baka matalo sila talaga. So, they had to move.
Kapatid mobile journalist Mary Monreyes, we are One News.
Enough distractions, back to work. This was how President Bongbong Marcos summarized the failed bid to have him impeached. Speaking to reporters, the chief executive said the charges did not prosper because there were no real grounds to impeach him. He also added that, in fact, he was not overly concerned by what he called politically driven complaints.
I saw the impeachment complaint, and I knew that I would be all right in terms of the impeachment, because wala naman, there were no real grounds for the impeachment. It was a political move, as usual. Of course, I'm glad that now the impeachment complaints against me have been are finished. We can get on with our work, because these things are distractions from the things that we were doing.
Over the last 2 weeks, President Marcos faced 2 impeachment complaints, one filed by lawyer Andre De Jesus and the other filed by the Makabayan Coalition. Both accused the president with betrayal of public trust. The complaints were both declared sufficient in form but were later declared insufficient in substance by the House Committee on Justice last Wednesday. Asked to the impeachment complaints against his estranged Vice President Sara Duterte, Mr. Marcos only had this to say.
No reaction. Hindi ko trabaho yan. Trabaho ng House. O bayaan mo sila magtrabaho. I'm sure they will handle it properly. So let's let them do their jobs.
Now let's talk about the impeachment complaints filed against VP Sara Duterte this week. And joining us tonight over the phone is Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon. He is also a member of the House Committee on Justice and chair of the Public Accounts Panel. Good evening, Congressman. Welcome to The Big Story.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
All right. You said that there's an express way of handling the impeachment complaints. May you tell us what these 2 possible tracks are?
Well, yung una po, yung pong referral po to the House Committee on Justice. This is the route that was undertaken for the President's impeachment. Pero one of the other modes for impeaching an impeachable officer is the express route. No? Pagka meron pong 1/3 of all House members which will file articles of impeachment, pagka meron pong ganon, there will be a direct transmittal to the Senate. This is the same mode that the House had undertaken in the last Congress. So all of these things are on the table for as long as no referral to the House Committee on Justice has yet been made by the House plenary.
Well, you have to move fast, as well as there are new procedures as stated by the Supreme Court decision, right, on VP Sara's case.
Yes, correct. We have to implement the Supreme Court guidelines on the 10 session days, no, for referral to the House Committee on Justice para hindi po maging deemed initiated po yung proceedings. So I think we have up until the first week or second week of March to do the referral. Pero up until that point, the 1/3 House members express route remains on the table. It's something that Congress can still undertake.
Do you still have the numbers? Do congressmen still have the appetite to do this? After all, the administration also, many are facing cases or possible cases with in relation to the flood control scandal.
Well, I don't think it's a question of appetite. It's always a question of accountability. So, irrespective of whether it's a flood control matter or an impeachment matter, if it's within the mandate of Congress, I think we are duty bound to act on it. So, if the evidence exists to basically impeach the Vice President on confidential funds, on death threats to the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker, then I think the Congress will have to proceed.
Kasi dati, di ba, hindi naman binasa ng mga maraming congressmen yung complaint. And they were really just, how will we call it, corralled? Or anyway, it was really the strength of the leadership of the speaker then that everybody fell in line.
Well, I cannot say for certain whether they were corralled, no? But I think what is important, for example, in the proceedings against the president, it should be based on facts, it should be based on evidence, and it should be based on their conscience, no? So that is the same principle that we expect House members to basically undertake when we consider the impeachment of the Vice President, irrespective of mode, whether it is through the House Committee on Justice or whether through the express route of one-third of all members.
At this point, Congressman Terry, which route is the Committee on Justice inclined to take? Are you going to go with the first track, or are you going to do the express route? Is there someone getting like a informal survey of what House members would prefer?
Well, there's no preference at this point, no? So what is currently standing would be the 2 impeachment complaints. So it is only a question of time as to when the referral will be to the House Committee on Justice. But we are making the note that the express route remains in place. Kasi nga po, that is still an existing mode for as long as no referral has been made to the House Committee on Justice.
We're also expecting, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more complaints to be filed early next week. Ironically, today is Feb 6. Supposedly, the original starting date again, pwede mag-file against the VP. Are you guys going to wait for that? And what's going to happen to those if, for example, there more are filed on Monday?
No, ang totoo po, they can file however complaint that they would want to file up until a referral is made. So, ibig sabihin, you can file 10 cases, 1,000 cases, for as long as there has been no referral to the House Committee on Justice. Okay lang po yun. The most important lang is the referral should be made Feb 6 onwards para safe po yun from constitutional scrutiny.
Pero if you opt for that express route, sinong tiga-baston dyan? There has to be someone who is, doing all that logistical work. Yeah, giving copies, getting those signatures, getting the support. Who's going to do that?
Well, that would be a bit premature to discuss at this point kasi there's no complaint to even talk about as yet, no? To do the express route. Pero I'm quite certain naman po, as long as the articles of impeachment, the draft of it exists, then baka meron ho magbabaston, as what you say. Dito po sa 1/3 vote to do it, to do the express route to the Senate.
But following the ruling of the Supreme Court, Congressman Terry, what are some things that lawmakers must keep in mind kung gagamitin nga itong express lane route para hindi ulit ma-question yung constitutionality nito?
Well, meron lang po 2 actual requirements na place po na guardrails ang Korte Suprema doon po sa motion for reconsideration resolution. Una, yung po endorsing congressmen, dapat meron ho silang kopya ng complaint ng articles of impeachment at yung po mga evidence supporting it. Tapos secondly, during plenary deliberations, dapat po lahat po ng House members meron pong kopya ng articles of impeachment at yung po mga supporting evidence. So, yan po yung mga linatag na mga guardrails ng Supreme Court pagka mag-undertake po kami na express route to the Senate.
And just to clarify, Kong Terry, so if magagather ng signatures, this has to happen even before plenary?
Tama po yun. Dapat meron na pong 1/3 vote, 1/3 signatures of all House members bago po isa lang sa plenaryo.
Okay, let's, I don't want to belabor this, but as to Ces's point and now with Pawis, usually yung majority leader yung gumagawa nun, and that is, of course, Sandro Marcos. Have you spoken to him on whether or not he would recuse para hindi masyadong maging overly political?
I haven't spoken to Majority Leader Marcos, pero I'm quite certain naman po, marami naman po very interested to look at it as a method of impeaching the Vice President. So, antayin na lang po natin siguro pagka nag-materialize po itong another route of impeaching the Vice President. Pero as we speak today, syempre, yung pong referral to the House Committee on Justice. Yan po yung pinaka-inaantay din po natin na most likely ruta po ng impeachment po ni Vice President.
And even if it's done by referral to the Justice Committee, it can still be fast-tracked.
Hindi na ho. Pagka po meron ng referral to the House Committee on Justice, yun na po yun. There can be no more express route. So, yung talagang kailangan na pong gawin would be to do the House Committee on Justice proceedings.
But what I mean is the Justice Committee can speed up its proceedings.
Well, I think the standard that we would want to undertake would be the previous standard that we had implemented during the President's impeachment. So there was a discussion on sufficiency in form and exhaustive discussions on sufficiency in substance. No? And then if it proceeds from there, then we will have marathon hearings on all of the grounds that were raised against the Vice President.
And how long would that take? Yun matagal.
It will really depend po on the endorsers and the complainants kasi syempre gusto rin ho natin himayin. But to be clear, we have 60 session days to basically dispose of it. No? So I'm quite certain hindi naman po kami lalagpas ng 60 session days to dispose of impeachment proceedings at the level of the committee.
Congresswoman Luistro was very firm no, na iisa-isahin, meaning each article in each complaint is debated on one by one. So we expect this will be how it would go also for the Vice President. But I wanted to get your thoughts, Congressman Terry, on consolidation. What's your opinion on that? Pwede ba yun o hindi?
Depende ho yun sa komite, no? Kung magko-consolidate. So for example, in the President's impeachment proceeding, we did it separately, no? At the level po of form and substance. I cannot say for certain, for example, if it proceeds to the next stage, kung mag-consolidate po yung committee. I think we have to wait for that to happen muna.
Kong Terry, kayo po ba ay may fearless forecast na dito sa magiging impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte? I understand you can't speak on the merits yet, but we all know naman pareho pa rin yung grounds ng impeachment complaint. Nandiyan pa rin yung culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, graft, and corruption. Ano po ang forecast nyo dito?
Well, I don't want to forecast on the votes, no? And yung pong ending po nung proceeding. Pero siyempre, hindi man, like what stated, hindi nagbago yung evidence, documents from last year to this year. So kung yun po yung pagbabatay, mabigat po talaga yung grounds to confidential fund, mabigat po yung death threat against the President, the First Lady, and the House Speaker, former House Speaker. So tingin ko, even on those points pa lang, even without talking about the Madriaga affidavit, mabigat na po yan to proceed with proceed to trial. Ito pong impeachment ni Vice President.
Yung Madriaga affidavit, Congressman, do you think, how weighty will this be? Kasi base dun sa takbo no, nung debate kay President Marcos, kumbaga, I know this is notarized, right? Pero it's also just one guy saying this and that and having that document notarized.
Hindi, hindi ko walang problema yun. Kasi, for example, you just have to compare it naman po dun sa affidavit ni Roberto Bernardo. Wala naman yung debate. It was an affidavit made by a former undersecretary. So, ang mahalaga mo sa amin, it is based on personal knowledge and based on authentic documents. No? Yung naging pagkakaiba naman po dito, yung Zaldico video kasi was unauthenticated. Di ba? Wala man lang affidavit si Zaldico saying na, no, these are my videos, you can actually use it for the impeachment. So, I think that needs to be clear. So, yung affidavit can be considered as part of the document list. Dito pong VP impeachment.
All right. So before we let you go, one final question. If you're saying that the express route is being considered, so it's going to be a busy weekend for the House of Representatives.
Well, it can be a busy month kasi yung pong 10 session days naman po will lapse by the first week or second week of March, I think.
Okay.
So, meron pa po tayong mahabang panahon yung Kongreso para magdesisyon whether we will do the Committee on Justice route or we will do the one-third route na express to trial to Senate.
All right. We thank you for talking to us this Friday night, Congressman Terry Ridon. The big story is back with the Justice Department looking at leads from the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee report. That's as the agency continues its probe on the flood control corruption scandal. A draft partial BRC report that was leaked earlier this week contained a recommendation to charge Senators Francis Escudero, Jinggoy Estrada, and Joel Villanueva. This is for allegedly receiving kickbacks from flood control projects. All three have denied this. The Senate leadership also said the leaked Blue Ribbon report was erroneous.
Gusto rin namin makita ito, hindi para sabihin na ito ay magiging basihan na ng pagsasampa ng kaso. It may be considered as leads that the department can follow and look into, and which we can refer to the NBI para tingnan nila kung sasabihin halimbawa sa committee report may ebidensya at
Meanwhile, the Independent Commission for Infrastructure has submitted a summary report to President Marcos. It details ICI accomplishments and activities from September 15, 2025 to January 18, 2026. In a press statement, the fact-finding panel said it had delivered substantial and measurable results in just 3 months with constrained manpower and resources. Based on its report, the ICI had made 9 referrals to the Ombudsman covering 64 individuals. It also conducted a total of 32 hearings covering 36 witnesses. Validation of findings through inspections were also conducted in 16 sites in total, covering multiple regions. The ICI also processed more than 1,000 documents, froze 6,692 bank accounts, and seized a total of 24.7 billion pesos in assets. According to the ICI, its submission of the 125-day report came at a critical juncture with the resignation of Commissioners Babe Singson and Rosana Fajardo.
Moving on to the weather now, Tropical Depression Bashang is still pouring rains over the Visayas and Mindanao, even as it continues to weaken. Bashang made landfall over Surigao del Sur late last night, which triggered torrential rains and flooding. In Iligan City, Lanao del Norte, floodwaters were chest deep at some point. Some residents had to be rescued with the use of ropes. In Cagayan de Oro, 4 died due to a landslide. Floods were also experienced down south due to Tropical Depression Bashang. Cebu Governor Pambari Cuatro cut short an official trip to China to personally inspect river levels in the province. And as of 5 p.m. this afternoon, Bashang was spotted in Dawis, Bohol. It is forecast to make another landfall over the southern portions of Cebu and Negros Oriental between tonight and early morning tomorrow. Bashang will then head to the Panay Gulf, where it is expected to further weaken into a low-pressure area. Signal number 1 is up over several areas across the country, including the southern portions of Oriental and Occidental Mindoro and Masbate, Romblon, and the northern portion of Palawan. In the Visayas, several areas are still under signal number 1, which are the southern portions of eastern Samar and Samar, Guimaras, Iloilo, Capiz, Antique, including Caluya Islands, Aklan, Biliran, Bohol, Cebu, the Negros provinces, Leyte, Southern Leyte, and Siquijor. In Mindanao, signal number 1 is up over the Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Agusan del Norte, Misamis Oriental, and the northern portions of Misamis Occidental and Zamboanga del Norte.
Meantime, here are the other stories making headlines as the week comes to a close, starting with the latest labor force figures. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority show more Filipinos were unemployed in December. The unemployment rate stood at 4.4%, unchanged from November, but higher than the 3.1% recorded in December 2024. This translates to about 2.3 million jobless Filipinos. For the full year, unemployment averaged 4.2% in 2025, and that's the highest in 2 years, translating to around 2.14 million individuals. National statistician Claire Dennis Mapa said job losses were largely driven by a slowdown in public construction, which shed about 550,000 workers year on year. Administrative and support services, meanwhile, recorded the biggest employment gains. And over at The Hague, the camp of former President Rodrigo Duterte has renewed its appeal before the International Criminal Court, seeking his immediate release. The defense team argued that the ICC pretrial chamber committed serious errors of fact and law when it refused to consider a joint medical report submitted in his case. The defense said the report details cognitive impairments affecting his ability to plan, organize daily activities, and to make decisions. They added that Digong's condition, combined with his weakened physical state, makes it impossible for him to evade custody. Duterte's confirmation of charges hearing is scheduled for February 23. He is facing crimes against humanity charges for murder and attempted murder linked to deaths during his anti-drug campaign as president and earlier as mayor of Davao City. And in another development, Naga City Mayor Leni Robredo has reunited with key opposition allies for the first time in several years. Robredo shared photos of her with Senators Kiko Pangilinan, Bam Aquino, and Risa Ontiveros. Also present were Senator Franklin Drilon, Akbayan Party List Representative Shel Diokno, Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila De Lima, and former Budget Secretary Butch Abad. Robredo captioned the photos, "Rare lunch out with people I have fought many fights with." Earlier, Robredo also met with Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon. Her office said the discussion focused on key infrastructure projects in Bicol, including the rehabilitation of the Maharlika Highway and the Bicol River Basin Development Program.
In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump has invited the Philippines to join his Board of Peace to promote global peacekeeping efforts. Philippine Ambassador to Washington, Jose Manuel Babe Romualdez, said Trump sent a letter of invitation to President Bongbong Marcos. He added the Philippines is considering how it can contribute, possibly through human resources rather than financial commitments.
This is something that the Philippines can be part of, then very likely we'll accept the invitation.
Meanwhile, Ambassador Romualdez also gave an update on how Pinoys are faring in the U.S. with the ongoing immigration crackdown there.
Any illegal immigrants or anyone that is staying illegally in the United States, as I've said, we've always advised our citizens that if you don't have a legal path, then it would be better for you to think about leaving the United States voluntarily. But if there is a legal path for you, then by all means, and we can find ways to be able to assist in looking for the right kind of perhaps an immigration lawyer that can help them. But they're not targeting Filipinos.
And on a much lighter note, from grassroots programs to global competitions, sports leaders are calling for stronger support systems to help shape the country's next generation of champions. The details in this report by mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho.
Building champions doesn't start on the podium. It starts at the grassroots. This was the key message delivered by sports executive Ricky Vargas during a leadership event organized by the Junior Chamber International or JCI held yesterday in Makati City. In the event, top Filipino athletes were honored, including Olympians Yumir Marshall, Nesty Patecio, Ira Villegas, and professional basketball player Calvin Oftana.
We must build champions before the podium. And when we say invest, we do not mean giving them sponsorship after they win. Dito pumasok ang grassroots. They could use guidance from experience like yourself on how to navigate life outside the game.
For national athletes like Calvin Oftana, that support from sport leaders, fans in the community plays a crucial role in keeping morale high, especially as they gear up for their upcoming competitions.
I think it boosts us na sa mga moral namin, siyempre, if may suporta ka from them, lalo na from us na kailangan talaga yun. Talagang kakayod kami every time may game, and just so happen na dito yung laro this coming FIBA Asia qualifiers, and their support so much for us.
Meanwhile, for Olympic boxer Yumir Marshall, the event served as an emotional reminder of his journey, from his early days in the sport to representing the country on the world stage.
Nung nagsasalita ko si Boss Ricky, parang nabalik ko ako sa nakaraan, yung time na nagsisimula pa lang ako. And then, parang patuloy yung luha ko kasi Na-touch talaga ako sa sinabi niya. And
Marshall also took the opportunity to encourage young Filipinos who dream of becoming future Olympians, reminding them that support systems are now in place.
sa mga kabataan po ngayon nangangarap na balang araw maging isang Olympian, di ba sports pa na gusto nilang salihan. Patuloy lang po kayo sa inyong pangarap. Nandito po, meron po tayong mga sports leader na sumusuporta yung LGU natin.
Senator J.V. Ejercito, also a member of JCI, underscored how sports has the power to unite the nation.
Well, it's very nice because every time there's sports activities or every time we have athletes who excel, all the nation is behind. No, it's nice to see that at least even for that moment, the whole nation is united. No, well, would like to just continue to push everyone, to encourage everyone to continue engaging in sports. Promoting sports and supporting sports.
Kapatid Denise Valdesancho, we are One News.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here on The Big Story. Living longer is one thing, but living healthier for longer is another. That distinction is driving interest in longevity medicine, which treats aging as a preventable risk rather than an unavoidable process. Kumbaga parang it's treated as like a disease actually, right?
Somewhat, yes.
House of Gaia in Batangas brought this concept to the Philippines, blending AI-based diagnostics with regenerative and preventive care. The center describes itself as a hospital disguised as a resort, designed to help people optimize health as they age. And now to explain how this works, we're joined live by Mike Chan, founder and CEO of House of Gaia and Gaia Longevity. Welcome, Mike, to The Big Story. We've
Thank
been
you so
debating
much.
you even behind the camera.
I know. I know. And it's very interesting, the discussion that we've had so far.
What made you pursue longevity medicine?
The birth of my daughter.
Okay.
So I was 47 when I got married. I was 48 when I became a father for the first time. And in her third trimester, my wife casually mentions, you should do a checkup just because of the impending fatherhood. And that was when I found out that at 47, I was already diabetic. And my cholesterol was 3 times higher than what was considered the safe upper limit. And I was 15% body fat. I was working out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day.
Candidate ka for a stroke.
Exactly, and a heart attack. That's exactly what the doctor said. He says, I have to put you on maintenance meds for the rest of your life.
Statin.
Yes, because at cholesterol levels that high, 245, that's a genetic thing. No
But
amount
you
of
didn't
diet.
want to do that.
I didn't want to do that. Just because. I didn't even expect that diagnosis in the first place.
Right.
So the doctor said, I said, Doc, how can that be, right? I'm in the gym. I'm 15% body fat. I'm the poster boy for health and fitness in our batch. He goes, oh, that's just age. That is just age. It's something that you will have to accept. So 3 months later, my daughter was born. And you know, if you're a parent, you'd understand, right? The minute I held her in my arms, I knew I had to live another 50 years. I could not be a burden to my young family. So that's when I told my wife I was going to make health my #1 priority, just because. So that's what started me on the path. I did nutrition science in Stanford, and that's when I met some of the people
But
that...
before that, what were you doing?
My wife and I actually have an aesthetics business. So it's skincare.
Okay.
Yes.
Also related.
Not at all. Not at all.
So
the
super
skincare...
naman,
If you want
Right.
to live 100, Mike, please
Right, you
naman make
better.
us beautiful.
So here's an interesting factoid. 80% of people that get into longevity medicine are women. Do you know why?
We're
They
vain.
don't want to look. They don't want to lose their looks. So they're looking at ways to slow down biological pace of aging to preserve their looks, which is understandable. So it does happen. We see it all the time. You fix the inside, the outside actually naturally follows.
Okay. So why Lipa? I realize that Lipa now has become a magnet, like a mecca for all these centers. But yours is different. It's the only one that offers longevity.
Medicine.
Walang iba.
Yes.
So ano bang muna? What do you do? Let's say someone goes to your center. What's the
So
protocol?
the very first thing that we're going to do is do a baseline diagnostics. We're going to measure your biological pace of aging. So if you were...
What are the metrics?
Very, very simple. So just to be clear, we don't have the technology right now to actually measure how fast or how slow you're aging, simply because science cannot still fully explain why and how it is that we age. We know what happens, right? We know the universal things, that we don't know how it happens. So
Your knees suddenly are not as strong
right.
anymore.
So yes, so what we measure are proxy markers, like your grip strength, your gait speed, your VO2 max, your vascular age, how young are your veins, right? So we measure all of these things.
Wrinkles in the face.
Well, more on, we look out for the 4 horsemen of death. The 4 horsemen are basically heart disease, stroke, cancer, dementia, and frailty. So falling is the 4th or 5th leading cause of death. So those four things are basically 85% of the things that are going to kill a modern day human. So you're not going to drown, you're not going to hit by a bus. Most likely
So
it's
there's
one
a
of those
score
four.
that will be given. to you.
Exactly. So we track your risk for these things. So I'll give you an example. Do you have any idea what your CAC score is?
What's that?
I don't even know what CAC is.
So here's the thing. For the people that are watching, heart disease is the leading cause of death. Period. It kills more people than all cancers combined. And it's
CAC is
CAC is coronary artery calcification score. It's a very simple and inexpensive test that you can do.
Take that test.
Right. So it's a very simple test that you can do to measure how much calcified
Calcium,
plaque
correct.
is in your arteries, right? And most people
hindi lang kayong nagpapaganyan na test.
we are a medical practice, meaning we actually partner with hospitals to do these tests. Although because we are AI based, so here's something that's interesting that hospitals still do not use now. Traditionally, that test involves radiation. So you're in a CT machine.
For the CAC?
For the CAC, yes. So computed tomography, yes. So there is radiation. It's not that bad, but the gold standard would be something called a CTA, a CT angiography, right?
Yeah.
That's invasive. They'll put dye.
The colored dye.
Yes, it does involve radiation. It's time-consuming and it's expensive. But that's the gold standard.
But I understand
In
for
our-
women din kasi, when you hit menopause, it's the your hormones, the female hormones that protect you from,
Yes,
from
estrogen
that.
in particular.
Yes,
Yes.
And that
So
decline
yes, so
in
before
production.
menopause, you actually age biologically slower than men. After menopause, you actually overtake us.
May
You actually
andropause rin
inch
naman
it-
kayo
Yes, but that phenomenon typically starts at around 65 for men.
Later.
Starts late.
But the thing you have to understand is we can actually stave that off. So the problem here is that women are born with a fixed number of eggs, follicles. Once they run out, you lose your testosterone. Since estrogen comes from testosterone, you begin to lose your estrogen as well. With men, we don't necessarily lose testosterone as long as we're active, as long as inflammation markers are low. These are the things that we track for. So it's fortunately for us. But then again, even though you're aging faster after menopause, you still outlive us by about 2-3 years. But going back to the thing, what we do is an ultrasound. It's non-invasive, it's dirt cheap. I can do it every day if I wanted to. And using AI, I can look at the plaque in your neck arteries, they're called the carotids. And using AI, I can infer how much plaque there is in your heart arteries, the coronaries. So that's a
That's done in your
That's done in our facility.
in your facility that's
Yes.
disguised as a resort.
Yes.
The pictures are beautiful, actually.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's see some of them.
Thank you so much. And so that's among some of the things we test for. It is that. And hospitals don't really test for physical function. Again, one of the best proxy markers for how fast or slow you're aging is how well you can still move. If I were to ask you to run 100 meters flat out, can you still do it?
I think so, but not in these shoes.
So if you can, that's very good news. Right? Everybody's talking about aging biomarkers, but at the end of the day, I don't really care what your blood markers say. Can you still move like a young person? Because ultimately, that's what
Movement
going to...
kasi is really what will...
Exactly.
Lack of movement will really prolong...
Exactly. So the key, if you want to live, if you want to reliably live 10, 15, 20 years longer than average human lifespan, there are two strategies. Number one, you have to be able to build a body that's actually robust enough to last you 9 to 10 decades, right? Because otherwise, there's really no point. If you're going to spend the last 5 years in a bed or in a wheelchair, right?
Yeah.
And the second strategy is to guard against these 4 horsemen of death, right? So again,
Okay, I can see what you're saying. Parang you're arming yourself now with all this data.
exactly.
Dati wala
Exactly.
yan, we're just
Yes.
guessing.
Exactly. So now, prior to the year 2000, we really did not have the tools to try and measure biological aging. So think of it like cardiology. Everybody's familiar with cardiology, right? Diseases of the heart. Cardiology was only an official field of medicine starting 1901. So around 1901 to 1910, cardiology was formed. Why? Because in the 1800s, we did not have the tools to measure the heart, right? We did not have the technology. All we had was a stethoscope. So it was largely thought 100 years ago that the heart was untreatable. Fast forward 100 years later, we knew, medical professionals knew, that aging was the biggest risk factor for developing diseases and dying. The older you got, the more likely it is you're going to get disease and die. But we didn't think we could do anything about it, right? So I could observe it, but there was nothing I could do about it.
Mike?
Now, the
So balak
technology...
mong maging 110? Ano balak mo?
She wants to live another 50 years old.
I want to live another 50 years, so 105. I'm 55.
You're 55.
I'm 55.
Wow.
Let's talk about...
That's really the target, huh? It's a very specific...
It's a very, no, it's a bar that we set for our members, and it's a bar that we set very, very high. So you can't really guarantee anybody will live 100 years old, right? As a matter of fact, less than 1% of us actually do. But we know it's possible because about 1% of us do, okay? What about 90 to 100? About 89% of us will not make it past our 8th decade. But a small subset, about 10.5%, will make it to 90 to 100. If you reverse engineer how they do it, you can see 5 things. So get your checklist. Number 1, these people that live 90 to 100, they don't smoke, they don't drink, they are a healthy body weight for most of their lives. So BMI of 25 or below if you're Caucasian, 23 or below if you're Asian, right? Here's
Parang ang lungkot ng buhay na yan.
So far, 3. Here's where it gets interesting. People who reach 90 to 100 are above average in physical abilities. They walk a bit faster, they have better balance, they're a bit stronger, they have better cardiorespiratory fitness, whether you exercise or not.
So is that genetic?
No, you can build it through exercise, right? So,
but kanina you were talking about a gene that you can inject.
No, that's different, right? So I'm saying without technology right now, with the basics of the basics, right? This is the most important, right? You have to be disease-free until 70, right? So the average person will begin to develop hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol by the time they're in their 40s to 50s.
That's my age group right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So people that live 90 to 100, they don't develop these diseases until 70. So here's the thing. If you tick all of those 5 boxes, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you maintain a healthy body weight, you're physically strong, and you're disease-free until 70, if you're male, you're 40% more likely to reach 90 to 100. If you're female, you're 50% more likely to reach 90 to 100. So those are not insignificant odds. So what I'm saying is you can actually program.
Okay,
right?
But it may cost a lot of money.
No, all of the things that I told you, here is the really sad thing. For 95% of us, if you're not born with a genetic disorder that will make a long life possible, every one of us is capable of doing these 5 things, right?
Okay, granted.
But 88% do not because they are not aware that this is what it takes to be robust.
I want to go back to your 4 pillars of the apocalypse.
The 4 horsemen.
The horsemen of death.
Right.
So one of them is cancer, and and this is actually a disease that's affecting younger and younger people nowadays. So I guess the most basic question is, can you stop it?
No. So straight answer is we don't have the technology to stop cancer, although they are working on vaccines and other technologies that can. But that's not going to be available in longevity medicine. So there are technologies that are working on this, but the short answer is cancer, the next best thing we can do is find it early. This is why for our members, it's constant screening. Because if I find cancer...
How often is constant?
Once, depending on your age, once a year, right?
So what do you test for?
Blood markers, and we use there is a new technology that we're bringing in. It's called a liquid biopsy. So liquid biopsy can detect
I've heard of that.
cancer DNA in your blood, right? Because when cancer cells divide, they shed DNA. This is what we look for. So that technology has been available for a long time. The problem is the older generations have a lot of false positives. So when you get older, you tend to have mutations that are benign but are read as cancer. So you don't want to give that to an older person because you might scare the person. So it's not really used. But there is new technology off of Korea and Singapore that has zero tolerance for false positives. So it's very exciting.
So if you're a member, you can have all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole membership.
We're running out of time, Mike. But
Right.
yeah, quickly, if any of our viewers are interested to visit House of Gaia, how can they reach out? And I know Seth keeps asking this. We're talking. I wanted to ask about pricing, membership packages. What are we talking about?
So we basically have two packages. Number one is a do-it-for-you approach. So the do-it-for-you is $350,000 a year. Do-it-for-you means we don't tell you what to eat. We send you the meals. We don't tell you to exercise, we send the trainers to you. You have your own doctor, your own nutritionist, your own nurse, your own physio, your own mindfulness coach, right? So everything is done for you. The second is a do it with you. So using a digital twin technology. So I showed you this earlier, a digital twin that's eating what you're eating, sleeping when you're sleeping, your same blood work, your same biology, exactly the same, right? That AI can track for you 24/7. Right? And AI can actually guide you on where you need to be in order to last 90 to 100. So that's only 88,000.
Oh, annually.
Annually, yes. Well, only for the first year.
Only for the first year.
For the succeeding years,
nurse, wala kang trainer, wala kang
So may spoiled approach and merong sariling sikap approach.
Because there are people, like for somebody as young as you guys, you can do it for yourself, right? But there are people who are older, they would need more assistance. But again, the 88,000 for the first year is only for the first year. After that, you don't really need us anymore.
Right.
It's just 2,000 pesos to maintain your digital twin. Your digital twin for the rest of your life. All of your medical records, all of your imaging records, everything is existing in that digital twin. The more you use it, the more valuable it becomes because it learns about you. Right? My twin, right now I know I need to eat another 720 calories because I missed dinner, right? So when I get home, it's going to tell me. No, sorry.
I feel bad now.
No. It's
minus 1 year.
It's actually going to tell me. It's actually going to tell me.
How?
That so these are the foods that you'd like to eat. You need 720 more calories. These are the meals that you can choose from.
Okay. Are we the first in the Southeast Asia to have something like this now? They are in Singapore? Or
I believe we're actually
Thailand?
the first in the world.
No.
I made a presentation in Dubai a few months ago. I was showing the technology, and everybody was amazed
How
that
can
we were
that be?
able to. I keep asking myself, how can it be that nobody's built it?
So who are the sorry naman. Paalam na nga kami. Okay.
I have an idea. Let's just plan a visit to House of
I
Gaia.
was gonna say, so
I
when are we
would love-
going?
We do an overnight stay. We'll do your blood work. We send it to the UK to measure your biological age. We do the carotid. We send it to the US to check your.
Maski that calcium.
Yeah. No. So if
ibang test yan.
if that test comes out and you're high risk, we immediately send you to the hospital to do a calcium test.
I
Right?
see.
So this is a pre-screen.
Yep.
It will basically tell us if you need more screening or not.
And mura lang yun.
Come on, we can be each other's
It is.
support system.
It is. Oh, you're going to enjoy it. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Even the
Oh,
physical
my.
function test, you're going to enjoy it. I promise
We
you.
have gone beyond the
sorry.
show's time.
Apologies.
So interesting kasi. We thank you for joining
Thank
us
you.
in the
It's
studio.
my pleasure.
That was Mike Chan, founder and CEO of House of Gaia and Gaia Longevity.
All right, and on that note, that's it for the big story this week. Thank you so much for watching.
We're back here on Monday at 8 p.m. and we'll see you then.
Kapatid, we are One News, all sides, all the time. Good night and have a great weekend.
Okay, before you hit the weekend or to prime you for that weekend, coming up next, we have play-by-play with Cheska Liton Calao. Check, are you low? Yeah, you are.
I am
Just
alone.
checking.
I
So
feel like
sorry.
such an interesting topic, though. I feel like my biological age is 80 at this point. So,
You can reverse it. That's the
Yeah,
good news.
scary.
Why don't
long as
you
I
come
don't
with
look-
us?
Can reverse it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. We have a jam-packed show tonight, so I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Like I said, we've got a packed NBA lineup once again. Thank you to The Big Story. Tonight on Play by Play, we are going to